Today we'll show you how to create a bill and manage the full workflow, from adding items to returning slabs. So let's get started. First, I'll create a titanium black bundle, add photos of the slabs, and save it. Below, in List of Slabs, we'll add some slabs to this bundle. Click New and fill in all the slab information for your bundle. In Bill Number, enter the number for this bill. If the material is consigned, you can enter the consigned number here. Here, enter the cost of the purchase. Once you fill in, the total purchase cost is calculated automatically. If you want, you can also add an image to your slabs. Just make sure to check Use Picture for all slabs below the Add Picture button. The blue icon on the right indicates that the slab is linked to a bill. When you click on this icon, you'll be redirected directly to the bill page. Here, you should fill in the bill details for your material. Enter the expected date. The arrival date should be filled in once the material arrives at its destination. Select the terms of payment. Here, set the bill status, add the tax. Select the sales representative. Choose the bill type that we previously set up. You can watch that setup video by clicking the card above. Apply a discount value if needed. I'll enter $10. You can also add a note if you want. I'll add a simple one just as an example. After filling everything out, click Save. Below, you can see the total purchase amount with the discount already applied. You'll notice that the tax hasn't been added yet. That's because the tax won't be applied until you select the items to be taxed. On the side, you'll find checkboxes to select which items should be taxed. Here you can see the tax amount applied to the products, the integrated costs, the discount, and the extra costs, which we'll cover next. In the Costs tab, you can add additional costs related to this purchase. Integrated costs are costs linked directly to the main bill, meaning they are associated with the same supplier as this purchase. Here, select the type of cost from the list, which we also covered in the setup video, and enter the amount. I'll add a second integrated cost of $10. Done. You can see it here. Extra costs, on the other hand, are external costs. These can include freight charges, customs fees, or other third-party expenses. For extra costs, select the supplier, terms of payment, first due date, type of cost, and amount. Then click Save. Now I'll add a second extra cost. I'll set the cost type as local delivery and enter an amount of $20. Now let's calculate the total amount per item by dividing all the extra costs. So all my costs together add up to a total of $100. Since I have 10 items in my list, that results in an average of $10 in extra cost per item. By clicking the blue Apply button, you can see the calculated value applied to the items. Alright, here it is. Now, going back to the bill information page, you can see the integrated costs and extra costs displayed here, along with the other bill values. Here are the integrated costs at $35 and here are the extra costs at $65. If you go to the item list and click the blue icon next to one of the slabs, you'll be redirected to that slab's bundle page. In List of Slabs, click the Actions button and then select See Costs. There, you can also view these values, such as the purchase cost for each slab, the extra cost amount, the cost per square foot or square meter, and the total cost. In the Payments tab, you can register all payments related to this bill, whether they are scheduled or already completed. In Bill Reference, you can select the extra cost to pay them separately, since they often come from different suppliers. If no option is selected, the field remains blank and is listed as Main Bill. First, I will register a payment for one of the extra costs. I'll select the Deposit To, the payment method, the due date, and the value. Here you enter the payment date, and in Paid Value you record the amount paid. Then click Save. Since I entered the payment date and the paid value, this extra cost is now automatically marked as paid. If these fields are not filled in, the payment remains marked as not paid. Here, I've registered my second extra cost, and now both extra costs show as paid. Next, I'll register the integrated cost separately from the product cost, in the value of $35, although you can also register everything together if you prefer. For the first installment, I set it to 15 days after the bill was created, so this is a payment that is still pending. I set 50% of the amount and selected cash as the payment method. For the second installment, I scheduled it for 30 days after the first payment and selected check as the payment method. So here you can see all payment records listed, including due dates, payment details, and status tags. You can also open and download the bill payment PDF, edit it at any time, or delete it by clicking the trash icon. In the Documents tab, you can attach important documents related to this purchase, such as purchase terms and conditions, payment terms, deposit records, and more. If you want, add a file description and then click Save. The Credit and Return tab is used when a slab is damaged during transit, has a defect, or presents any similar issue. In this case, you return the material and the supplier can issue a credit for the item. That credit will also be registered here on this page. Select the material you want to return. In Credit Memo, enter a reference number and next to it, enter the item value. The description field is optional, then click Save. After registering the credit, go to the Bill Information tab and click Credit next to the Supplier field. You'll be redirected to the Supplier page. There, you can view the available credit with that supplier. You can apply this available credit to your next purchase. Now, going back to the bill page, let's see how to add materials and products after the bill has already been created. Keep in mind that when adding materials or products from here, you can only add items from the same supplier. Search by the material name, enter the price in the value field, and set the product quantity as well. I'll add 4 Alaska white slabs and 10 units each of sinks, faucets, and cooktops from this same supplier. Next, I'll apply tax to each item added to the list. Done. This is the final purchase amount, with all taxes and discounts applied. From here, you just need to follow the same steps we covered in this video, adding costs, payments, documents, credits, and returned materials. After completing everything in your bill, don't forget to save all changes before leaving the page. In List of Bills, you can access all the bills registered in your system. Now, let's create a bill without using a bundle. Click New. Fill in all the required fields. You can also add a note for this bill if needed. Then click Save. After saving, the cost bar appears, along with the section to start adding items to the list. You can click the blank field as we showed earlier, but you can also use the Add Multiple Slabs button. Filter by the material, select the slabs you want to add, and click Save. Enter the values for each item, and you can also adjust the quantity in square feet or square meters. Select the items that should be taxed, and then click Save. Remember to complete the remaining steps we've covered earlier, such as applying costs, registering payments, adding documents, and, if necessary, returning slabs and applying credits. If the material has already been delivered, you can enter the arrival date with the delivery date. Then, update the status to finished or any other status you want to apply, and save the changes. When you finalize the bill, it becomes locked and can no longer be edited. If you need to reopen it, simply click Closed within the selected bill. That's it for today. If you want to see how SlabWare can help you organize and grow your stone business, visit SlabWare.com and start your free trial today. If you have any questions, our support team is ready to help. Follow the channel, turn on notifications, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. See you in the next tutorial, folks!